Politics is changing faster than many people expected. Sometimes it is not opinion polls that reveal where public opinion is heading. It is the crowds. Yesterday's reception of the Linda Mwanchi team in Bungoma, led by Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, has once again sparked a conversation about whether Kenya's political landscape is quietly shifting ahead of the next general election.
Sasa nataka niulize hapa Kiminini. Hizo sehemu zote tumetembea, hakuna kura ya kasongo. Kuna jamaa anatoka hapa Kiminini, akienda huko Nairobi anasema ati hapa Kiminini ndio kuna kura ya kasongo. Pole pole bwana, pole pole msiumie. Nataka kujua pale kwa kona hapo kuna kura ya kasongo hapo. Na pale kwa maduka hapa kuna kura ya kasongo. Hapa kuna kura ya kasongo na hapa kuna kura ya kasongo. Huku kuna kura ya kasongo. Nataka mseme Kiminini mnasemaje? Ruto! Ruto! Na mambo yake. Na tunasema Ruto lazima aende nyumbani. Sisi hatumchukii Mheshimiwa William Ruto, ni yeye anatuchukia sisi kama vijana. Kwa sababu inawezekanaje unatuambia anakuja kwa kijiji hapa, atukuja kwa kijiji hapa ujenge ghorofa 12 ya watu kuingia unaita affordable housing. Alafu unapeana amri kwa polisi ati watupige risasi kwa mguu. Hiyo ghorofa ilikuwa tupike aje hapo bila miguu? Tutaingia.
Washemeji wetu kutoka Nyanza, I'm calling upon you. Kama kijana ambaye alipigania Raila Trans Nzoia 2022. This time round, musimame na sisi. Ama namna gani?
Atafuta marafiki. Lakini atatafuta marafiki kama yeye pia ni presidential candidate. Akawa na wengine kama nika candidate.
Ama hapa kuna kura ya kasongo. Pale kuna kura ya kasongo. Pale kuna kura ya kasongo.
Ukishapiga kura raundi hii hatutakaa chini kuangalia runinga kungoja results. Raundi hii tunatangazwa tukiwa ndani ya State House.
Thousands turned up to welcome the team, creating an atmosphere that supporters described as energetic and hopeful. While large crowds alone do not determine election results, they often reflect growing public interest in a political message. For the Linda Mwanchi movement, yesterday's event was another opportunity to present itself as a people-centered alternative focused on governance, accountability, and the cost of living. What made the BUNGOMA rally particularly interesting was that it came after Edwin Sifuna's endorsement by some supporters as a possible presidential candidate. Since then, conversations surrounding his national appeal appear to have intensified. Whether one agrees with his politics or not, it is difficult to ignore that his public appearances are increasingly attracting attention across regions that were not traditionally considered his political base. Supporters argue that Sifuna brings a different style of leadership. He is widely known for his direct communication, confidence in public debates, and willingness to criticize both allies and opponents when he believes they are wrong. Those qualities have helped him build a profile that appeals especially to younger voters looking for leaders who communicate clearly and confidently. Meanwhile, comparisons are increasingly being drawn between the Linda Mwanchi movement and the broader united opposition. Political observers have noted that the Linda Mwanchi campaign has generated growing enthusiasm in recent weeks, while the wider opposition has continued to face questions about coordination, messaging, and leadership. This does not necessarily mean that one side is stronger than the other nationally. Kenya remains politically diverse, and electoral strength depends on many factors including regional alliances, campaign organization, voter turnout, and party structures. However, momentum is an important ingredient in politics, and momentum is something the Linda Mwanchi team appears eager to build. Yet there is one major challenge that cannot be ignored. President William Ruto remains the incumbent. History has shown that defeating an incumbent president is rarely easy. Incumbents benefit from national visibility, established political networks, government achievements they can campaign on, and access to extensive grassroots structures built over years. For that reason, the opposition's greatest obstacle may not simply be President Ruto. It may be internal competition. If multiple opposition leaders enter the presidential race separately, they risk dividing the very votes they hope to consolidate. Kenya's electoral history repeatedly demonstrates that fragmented opposition movements often struggle against a united incumbent. That is why many analysts believe that if the opposition genuinely wants to maximize its chances, it may eventually have to rally behind a single presidential candidate capable of attracting support across different regions and political backgrounds. The question then becomes far more complicated. Who should that candidate be? Would it be Edwin Sifuna if his popularity continues to rise? Would it be another established opposition figure? Or could a completely different leader emerge before campaigns officially begin? These questions remain unanswered, but what is becoming increasingly clear is that every successful rally, every growing crowd, and every new endorsement will influence that debate. The BUNGOMA reception therefore represents more than a political gathering. It signals that competition within the opposition itself is becoming just as important as the contest against President Ruto. Leaders are not only trying to convince voters, they are also trying to convince fellow opposition supporters that they are the strongest person to carry the coalition into the next election. As the political season gathers momentum, rallies like yesterday's will continue to shape public perception. Whether that momentum translates into votes will depend on organization, coalition building, and perhaps most importantly, unity. Because in politics, popularity creates headlines, but unity often decides elections. Do you believe the opposition should unite behind one presidential candidate to challenge President Ruto? And if so, should Edwin Sifuna be that candidate? Share your thoughts in the comments.